Here we are again, Robert. I'm happy to have another episode of the Underdog, and I'm even more happy that we are staying in Germany.
Yes, we do. There is no need to travel far to find an underdog. So we go to the final round of the Schach Bundesliga.
The
Um,
strongest league in the world.
exactly,
That's
exactly. And
insane.
I'm actually very much looking forward to play there again myself next year,
Oh,
as
yeah!
my team promoted from the second division to the first. So I'm
Congrats.
I think if there is one underdog next year, I know who I'm gonna take.
Every episode, every time,
Every
every.
episode, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's congratulations. Which team are you playing for?
Erkenschwick
Erkenschwick. Yes, you
from
you
the
pronounced
Ruhrgebiet.
it very, very well. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
with my
good.
Dutch accent. Yeah.
And we chess-based team was at the Bundesliga weekend. Like it was 3 days of full games, and there were people like Vincent Keimer and Viswanathan Anand, but of course also Ruslan Ponomaryov, Yagish Adamush, who we also made an episode of, Aravind, like lots of strong players. But the funniest part is the strongest player of all the strongest players, Magnus Carlsen. He wasn't there, unfortunately. He played on chess.com.
Mhm.
But we have one of his teammates,
And that
after
is?
all. Hmm?
Ah, I didn't make the link. I didn't make the link.
That's
It's
awesome.
bizarre. No, because I was thinking about St. Pauli, but for some reason I thought that Magnus is not in St. Pauli team. I
Well,
don't know
he
why.
didn't play a single game this year. Probably this is the reason why.
Ah,
Yeah, he
okay,
played
okay.
last year, but yeah. And if you think of like a teammate, you don't think of the player we're mentioning compared
I,
to a
I, I
teammate with
didn't I didn't see the
2,800.
bridge you were making. So
It's not your fault. It was a bit far fetched.
yeah,
Yeah,
no. Okay.
but it's actually Triona Eberle with a rating of 2010 to be precise, against is it a grandmaster? Yes, right.
No,
It's
international
international.
master
Sorry.
from Sweden, Philip Lindgren.
Yeah, almost
Um,
2,400.
exactly. So there's more than 370 points rating difference. Not something you get to see that often
No.
in the league, but yeah, very very special game, special result, and special action on the board.
Yeah, and I have a quick anecdote for this because I was speaking with the team chef, the team coach of St. Pauli, and he mentioned that they went to the Bundesliga weekend not with the strongest team already. They put in a lot of effort to get the stronger people there. They were already qualified. They were playing for nothing, so they were probably expecting that they get some damage, and they lost quite a lot of games. But yeah, and this is also the reason why Triona was actually playing in the team in the last round.
Nice opportunity for her to make her debut in the league. Shall we have a look?
Absolutely, yes. She
Yeah,
was white.
she is playing
No,
black.
she was black. Okay, shall we
She's
turn
black.
the
Yeah, yeah,
board?
yeah.
Thank you.
Let me do
For
that, of
for me, as
course.
my with my little amateur brain, it's easier to follow.
Here we go. D4, knight f6. You can see the moves. C4, e6, knight f3, d5. Queen's Gambit, as always, popular opening at every level.
Mhm.
Bishop g5, normal developing move. And via this specific move order, we are going to transpose back into a very well-known line of the Slav, of the semi-Slav to be precise. It's the Moscow variation.
Mhm.
Interesting opening. You can see that white has a little bit more space and black's position is a little bit cramped, but very solid structure, of course. But the big question is, how is this bishop on c8 going to join play anytime soon? We'll find out later. E3 played. It's the main move. And black continues developing with the move g6. Maybe you would have expected another move, but the bishop is planning to come to g7
Yeah, unusual.
very, very soon. Here, interesting moment, bizarre moment when I was analyzing this game myself a bit. By far, the most common thing here to do with white is touch your bishop and put it either on e2 or d3,
Hmm.
preparing to castle kingside. But for this occasion, Philip Lindgren decided here to play the move a4. and it's an almost novelty. Has been played, I think, maybe one or two times before. It looks a bit weird to me, to be honest. I don't see the idea of including this move. My thought is that White wanted to develop is bishop, but if you ever can take on c4 and recapture, maybe there's the plan to go b5 as black.
Ah,
But I think black still has other ways to get the bishop out, and so after a4, black just goes a5, and we get to see a very normal type of position arising from this opening. Like white goes bishop d3, black goes knight d7, white castles bishop g7, just with the moves a4 and a5 included.
mhm.
And I'm thinking, how can this benefit white? And I'm struggling to give you the answer. I think having obtained some grip on the b4 square, it kind of fixes white's queen side, and therefore I fail to yeah to understand what exactly white's point is. It's still not like a blunder or so. It's
Yeah.
just the positional. To me, it looks like a positional error somehow.
Uh-huh. There are a couple of other moves which would have been more of a benefit for white.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. So what white does here is very common. White plays the move e4, trying to open the
Breakthrough.
center to grab some space. So after taking the pawn, there follows knight takes e4, hitting the queen on f6, and the queen goes to f4. This is also kind of a common maneuver
Mm.
in these positions. The queen, it's putting a bit of pressure here on the fourth rank, but it can always return to c7 whenever it's needed. So
Uh-huh.
there's not like a danger of getting trapped anytime soon. Rook e1 played, and now castling kingside. And yeah, I think black is doing pretty okay here. The plan is basically to play a move like b6, put a bishop on b7, so that the rooks are connected, and at the right moment you want to play c5. When both bishops on the long diagonals, they're doing an excellent job. So that's the plan. But if you try a move like c5 to prevent it, well, you're not really preventing it. I think b6 is going to be played anyway, and well, black manages to activate her queen side.
Yeah, and that c6 pawn doesn't matter that much. It can be swapped at one
Even if
point,
you
and
lose it, even if
yeah,
you lose it, like the diagonal for the bishop will be open.
yeah.
So generally, this is quite okay, and I think black will also be able to develop some play on the b file. So white, instead of playing c5, went here for the move knight c3, back. Black went rook d8. Okay, there are a lot of other possibilities here as well, but quite a decent move, rook d8. Queen c2, so white connects his rooks. Pawn to b6, continuing queenside development. Bishop e4, attacking the pawn. Black defends it with bishop b7 and rook 81. So all white's pieces have been centralized now. But the main problem is that black's position doesn't contain any serious weaknesses.
Okay.
What I would probably do is go back with the queen to c7 just to regroup and at some point try to prepare c5. But knight f6 was played. It's an interesting move too.
I need to have a quick question because, of course, like at one point, I mean, you know, your opponent is 400 points more. And what do you think were? I mean, of course, you don't know, but what do you think were Triona's thoughts? Was it like play safe, just like have it a draw? Hopefully, it's going to be a draw. It would be a big, big, big success to have a draw against such a strong player. Or do you think like she was trying to get some chances and play as free as possible and try to even make a win here or something?
Well, good question. I cannot go into
I
somebody
understand.
else's mind, but in general, I would think that I think she must have felt comfortable because probably it's an opening she has played before,
Ah, mhm.
and you know some ideas, and then your opponent does something strange. There's nothing convincing is happening by white. And okay, you feel like okay, a draw is okay, and let's see what is going to happen
Hmm.
later. But I would be surprised if she would have felt really under pressure here because okay, White's pieces are standing there, but they are not really creating any threats at
Yep,
this. But you know, you never know when
of
you're
course.
playing somebody higher rated, then there's always this kind of pressure which is probably not visible on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, actually, very important moment in the game. What would you do with White here? Do you have any ideas how
Well,
to?
of course, I'm looking at taking on g6, but it just that's you get 2 pawns for the bishop. It cannot work. There's nothing which will.
There's no
Well,
follow up, yeah.
yeah, no, it just takes too long. I cannot get the rook to e7, but that would of course be one of my stupid plans as white. Furthermore, what to do as white? It is quite interesting, isn't it? Uh, I don't. Okay, okay. I have a plan. So if I'm thinking quickly, because I don't want to postpone the show for too long or just take too much time, but
Uh-huh.
one of my ideas would probably be to get one of the rooks to the third row, and then move over, or double up.
It's a very common idea in those structures because you have more space. You need to use the ranks behind those pawns,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think that's quite a decent idea. What is the best move, or probably the most challenging continuation for White, is to play knight e5.
Uh huh.
With a similar idea that okay, now you're cutting off the path for the queen, so there are
Oh.
plans to go g3, and in case black is going to take on e4, you can bring the rook into the game. And this
All
is
right.
similar to what you had in mind. At least the rooks, well, they are doing pretty well. It's
Mhm.
still quite an interesting position. Like anything can happen. It's not like White has a massive attack, but yeah, it's definitely okay for both sides. Um, in the game, something totally different happened. As White played here the move c5.
Mhm.
The idea is also understandable to fix the pawn on c6 and make this bishop on b7 look worse. But there's a problem with this move because black can take. You recapture the pawn on c5, and now black played simple move, bishop f8. So the bishop is going after the pawn on c5, and
Oh.
all of a sudden it's not which pawn is more vulnerable, the pawn on c5 or the pawn on c6. So I don't really understand what happened, but probably there was a concrete idea by White. Let's have a look. g3 played, chasing the queen away. The queen goes back to c7,
Mhm.
and now the bishop went to d3 to make more space for a knight to come. So that's what happens. Bishop takes c5, knight to e4. So you have lost the pawn as white, but okay, white's trying to generate some piece activity, hitting the bishop
Mm.
and the knight on f6, and of course you can take on e4. But bishop went back to e7, which is equally good. And here the knight comes into c5. So white is trying to claim some positional compensation, setting up a blockade on the c5 square, and this bishop doesn't look too
Yeah.
great. Um, Bishop takes c5, eliminating that annoying knight. Queen takes back.
And now rook d5 must come,
Well,
right?
yeah, well, that is the key move. But
Oh.
interestingly, this was not played. And I think this is an excellent moment to discuss that point you brought up earlier.
Huh.
What is the mindset of Triona here at this point? I think
Ah.
okay, she's a pawn up, but she felt like, okay, let's just play it safe. Offer the exchange of queens. Because if queens are coming off the board, of course, black is not going to risk anything. But are you really able to convert your advantage that easily? I mean, pawns on the queen side are split, and the extra pawn on the king side is not running that fast. So black is better, but nothing decisive. And your move, rook d5, would have been a much better idea here because you shouldn't aim for the exchange of pieces, but instead try to play as actively as possible. And then later on, maybe some exchanges can pop
Mhm.
up. You can go rook d8, you can go c5, Black is dominating the board after this move, rook d5. But here,
Huh.
I guess that she played it too safe with queen d6.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Mindset, how you think. I mean, we don't know the times yet, but there weren't that many moves played, so I guess they still were probably quite comfortable with their time management
Right.
as well.
And on the other hand, her move is psychologically speaking quite interesting because you're playing against a much higher rated opponent. What is he gonna do?
Yeah.
And probably White should go for the exchange of queens. Try to do some damage control in an end game a pawn down. But that is not what you want to do. As White, you try to keep queens on the board to keep as much play as possible. But objectively, this is probably not such a great idea. But what would you play here with Black?
My first thought in a blitz game would be queen b4 to open the file. Also, I don't like the discover, right? The bishop moves away and the queen is under attack. So queen b4 was an immediate idea. And
But but
the
but but you have to be careful, yeah, because there are always sacrificial ideas on G6 still anyway.
that is true. How to even defend that a bit? That's a bit like whoopsie. That's
You,
so
you
annoying. So is it queen f8? Yeah.
it's very passive. Maybe you can do it, but what I like about Triona's play here in the game is that she kind of ignores the threat and tries to generate active player herself.
Okay. Huh. Well, c5 is the other option, but
C5 is the way to go to open the diagonal for the
wow.
bishop, attacking the unprotected knight on f3. But what do you play after this move? Bishop
It,
takes g6.
that's what I would like to know. What do you play after this
Yeah.
move?
No, a
Well,
lot
you
of
don't
people,
take
a
back.
lot of people would have
Yeah.
stopped calculating here for sure. Yeah, you
Yeah.
cannot take, as you say, the queen is hanging.
So wait a second. Okay, wait. That's one bishop. How do we get this back? Can we sacrifice a queen? Maybe even. Dup, dup, dup. We have a rook. No. If it would be a rook and two minor pieces against the queen, I might go for that. But after
You're
this,
overcomplicating things here. Keep it
am I?
simple.
Okay. Is it
How dangerous is that bishop on g6?
not very at the moment? So is it just queen e7?
Queen e7 is an excellent move because the bishop is threatened to be taken here, and the queen can help over to interfere on
Yeah.
g7.
And
And
the
also the
bishop
knight
on
on
f3. Yeah. Knight on f3.
it's like a double attack basically. Queen e7 would have been by far the best move. Was not played
Oh.
in the game, but I really like the idea, the ambitious attempt by Triona as she played here the move Queen c6, saying that okay, if the bishop is going to move away, I'm going to take the knight with a mating
Oh.
threat. But it's probably not the best way to play because White has an interesting idea to keep the game going. Can you see what White can do here?
Well. Oh, yes. How beautiful. It's a check on f7.
Exactly, because the bishop cannot be taken because of the knight fork. So bishop takes f7 was played, but where do you go with the king?
Okay, g7 looks very suspicious because of queen g6.
There's a queen coming in, indeed.
Yeah.
So
So there's two more options basically, which is f8 or h8. F8 looks a bit more secure on the first look.
yeah, that was played in the game. King f8 is the only way to keep fighting for the
Oh,
advantage.
wow, what a game actually.
Yeah, what a game! And remember that there is still this threat of taking
Yeah,
the knight
exactly. And checkmate
on
if the knight is going somewhere.
exactly. Good point. So here, big moment. White needs to decide how to neutralize that threat. What are the options? What do you think?
Well, rook e3 or d
Was
yeah, rook e3.
what? Yeah, Rook e3 was played in the game, but
Ah,
it's not such a good move. I'm gonna help you out, guys, because it's quite difficult. But apparently, the only move for White is to take first on d8 to take away that pressure on the d file. Rook takes back,
yeah. And maybe
and now
now
Yeah,
Oh no, this cannot work, can it? No, it cannot work. No, no, I was wrong. I was wrong. Sorry.
you
Uh,
can ignore this threat of queen takes f3 by doing something about your bishop. Take on e6. Bishop takes
uh-huh.
e6. And now the trick is, and this is very difficult to calculate from afar, queen takes f3
Queen takes c5 is the only move I see.
with check. And the problem is, where do you go with a king? There are not many options. If you go to the e file, then there is this
That's
discovered
yeah.
check winning the queen. While in case you go to g7, there is queen e7 check. And you don't want to go back to h8 because it runs into queen takes rook with check. And after king to g6, trying to run away with the king, it's white actually who's going to give checkmate after a few forcing moves. This is
That's just
checkmate.
so
Yeah.
crazy.
So interestingly, this is what white should have tried. And okay, black shouldn't take the knight on f3. And apparently, you can play something like rook e8. And probably now the threat is to take on f3. But yeah, this is pretty tough. Actually, the threat is also to take on e6, obviously. So there are still two problems to deal with. But let's have a look at what happened in the game. As rook e3, the move you also suggested, Arne, was played. Big moment, big moment. What can black do?
What can black do? Take the rook, take the bishop, and we have a piece up, or is it too easy? No, it's
No, no,
not. We
there's
cannot
still
take the
still knight
bishop.
e5. Yeah, the bishop is poisoned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do we get rid of this knight? Because that's the annoying part, the most annoying thing.
Or maybe not get rid of the knight, but get rid of that annoying knight check on e5.
Oh my God, is it happening? Queen takes f3.
Not yet, not yet.
Oh, but
Keep
it's
keep it in the back of
okay,
your
okay,
mind,
okay.
that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, the idea is quite simple. It's a checkmate back rank,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not working yet. Okay, so how do what is why is it not working yet? So we um I don't know, Robert.
I'm gonna help you. Knight g4 is the key move.
Knight g4. I looked at that for a second. Yeah.
You're covering this square, e5. So
Yeah.
you're probably even threatening to take on f7.
I see. Okay.
And
Oh,
for
that's good.
instance, I had the bizarre line. If you move the rook away to f1 to keep the rooks on the board, here you're kind of discouraging black to take the rook on e3 because after f takes e3, all of a sudden there are four pieces eyeing the black king. This is very dangerous.
Hmm.
But you can simply take on f7. And the point is that the check on h7 is not dangerous because you walk in with your king into the open field. With king f6, there are no more checks. As simple as that. The knight is protecting the pawn, the knight is covering this square, and there's no good follow-up. You're a piece up. The rook
That's
cannot really do
so
anything
funny.
because of this problem with the knight on
Yeah.
f3 still. So okay, rook f1 is not the only move, but it's just to illustrate that black can probably simply take the
Yeah.
bishop. Rook de1 was played in the game, and now you better don't take the bishop. I'll show you why, because queen h7, king f6, and you can take with the rook on e6. And
Oh yeah.
after capturing with the queen, everything is coming off the board, and the problem is that the bishop is still hanging at the end of the day. So no king takes bishop, but now you do take with a knight on e3,
Okay.
eliminating a potential attacker. That's a great idea. Rook takes e3. You're up the exchange, but what do you play now with black?
Well, once again, I will try to take on f3.
Now you take on f3, because what is the big difference? There is just one defender
Yeah.
less for white. So you got to take with a rook, and now you take with the bishop, and the rook will come in to d1, and the bishop is of course protecting that d1
Yeah.
square. Queen takes c5. It's the only check in the position. Does it matter what you do now?
You just uh, can we take? Yeah, I think.
Yes, you can take it. Don't go away to g7 because it allows queen c3 and the
Ah,
bishop will be lost. So you take it. Um, Queen c7 only check. The king goes away. Checks are over. And it's mate on the next move. White resigned.
that is so crazy. My gosh.
But it was very nice sequence of tactics. Yeah, I mean, Black was on the good side of the tactics in this case, but there were even some lines where White could also have set up a few tricks.
Yeah, it was a wow. There's the German word Schlagabtausch, so it's like an open fight. Yeah, you both are trading blows in this situation, and it turns out Black won the game. How cool! Very nice game. Very nice underdog victory for Triona Eberle against an IM. This is how you win against the almost 400 Elo point rated
Don't
opponent.
don't show any fear. Just play
Yeah,
your own game. Your chances will come.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's the lesson for today. Thank you so much, Robert. It was a lot of fun.